In this session, we'll define visual literacy and explain why the skill is so important. We'll share basic design principles and best practices for analyzing images, and we'll practice using visual analysis strategies to hone our visual literacy skills. For example, the World Economics Forum predicted back in April of 2019 that the digital universe is expected to reach 44 zettabytes by 2020, 40 times more bytes than there are stars in the observable universe. Sometimes comparisons like this are better understood in graphic form as opposed to just reading the text. The size comparison can be represented visually, with the number of stars in the visible universe in yellow and the number of bytes in the digital universe in blue. That's a lot of bytes. We live in an age where information is being produced at exponential rates, and we're inundated with visual data. It's everywhere. Many of the visual cues we take in every day are so embedded in our daily life that we understand them without really thinking deeply about them. Free Wi-Fi, a tow-away zone, stick figures as people, the light bulb as a symbol for a great idea, a handicap-accessible space. We see them and interpret them almost without really seeing them. But when the symbolism is off, it may trigger us to pause. If we saw a green stop sign, we might pause and think, but wait, green means go, not stop. The use of color often brings meaning with it. For example, when a famous African American football player and actor was arrested as a suspect in his ex-wife's murder, Time magazine intentionally darkened images of his mugshot to make him appear more sinister, sparking conversations not only about racial tensions in the US, but also about the journalistic ethics of photo manipulation, the debate about the media's use of digital technology to manipulate public opinion, and the unintended effects of new technology. Though Time later issued an apology, the debate still continues. Another example, when David McCandless, a well-known infographic designer from the UK, created the image on the bottom left with red representing liberals and blue representing conservatives, it stirred up some confusion in the US, where those colors are just the opposite. He wound up creating a new infographic just for us. The ready lesson here is that good design is important. But what makes good design? Check out this article written by a well-known designer about good infographic design, and the great many who disagreed with her in the comments section. Notice there are 98 of those. It also sparked a rebuttal written by another well-known infographic designer, Nathan Yao, who holds a PhD in statistics and is the creator of flowingdata.com. And his had yet another smoking hot comment section with disagreement. Design is subjective in nature, and even the experts can disagree on what makes good design. However, there are some things that they can agree on. According to David McCandless, to be successful, a good design must be interesting. Some audience will find it relevant. It must have integrity. The data it holds should be accurate. For instance, it provides a citation or links to the data source. It should be functional, easy to use, and to understand. It should be informative and tell a story visually. And the structure or form should make it aesthetically appealing. Let's apply these measures to an infographic on who's using Twitter as a classic example of what infographics are like these days. So here it is, who's using Twitter? It definitely holds relevance, since Twitter has become an essential feed for real-time information, and even our current president uses Twitter as a key form of communication. Its form is acceptable, the use of columns makes it easy to follow, and it has a palatable color scheme. It also passes in function, using basic icons to provide meaning, male and female symbols to signify gender, a globe to represent geography, a mortarboard for education, and so on. It also has enough negative space that it doesn't appear cluttered. It does fall short on integrity, as it doesn't do a good job of citing the data. You'll see down at the bottom that it cites Pew Research as the source of information. Pew Research is a reputable source for social science data, but there isn't a direct link to the Pew data. It's not clickable. Nor can we tell much about how current the data might be. Is this information from 2019 or 2009? This could be an area of improvement. So where would this fall on McCandless's scale of good design? Well, without integrity, it's just rubbish.